Quicha Quartzcalia.
What?
Quicha Quartzcalia.
Quicha
Quicha
quadus
Quartzcalia.
Quicha
Quicha
quaduscalia.
Quartzcalia. Quicha Quartzcalia.
This guy's tone, like when he says it, sounds like he's getting angry. Like it's like when you ask someone's name and you keep repeating it back to them wrong, and they're like, "No, it's Quicha quaduscalia." Oh damn, you were muted. Sorry, my bad. Sorry.
Oh, you ruined my horrendous fuck Australia joke.
Oh no, fair enough. Yeah,
I'm sure
Quicha quaduscalia. Yeah.
you're our intelligent and beautiful figure that out for them.
Yeah.
Quicha Quartzcalia.
Quaduscalia. Quicha quaduscalia. It's probably still wrong.
I'm still going with Cavaradonna.
Cavaradonna, yeah. Cavaradonna it is, yeah. What a beast. Anyway, hello and welcome to the Football Friends podcast for another week. My name is Gage and I'm joined today by Paddy.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Yes. How is it all going?
It's certainly going forward, and we can praise God for that.
Yes. Indeed. Okay. Alrighty, so where do you want to dive in? Should we go straight into the Manchester derby? How does that sound?
Yes.
Yes, and yet again, like the last time, I'm going to just take this loss full in the face, like getting a potato thrown straight into your face. That's how I feel right now. And I was, this match aired at about 4 a.m. in old New Zealand, and being a psycho, I was actually still awake, so I decided to watch it. And and it was a very bad idea. I would have been better to actually fall asleep and just have horrific nightmares instead, because it was like
Gage,
Hmm?
Before the game, if I'd said to you, United will score 3 at the Etihad, you would have taken that.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
no, that's it. That's the only information I would have given you. 3.
When you phrase it like that, then how could I resist?
Pretty good.
Hey, look, I'll take 3 anyway. If we're going to concede 6, I still would take 3 goals. It's not.
It's like you're going to lose, so you may as well score 3.
Look, if we're talking about fractions here, it's only a 2-1 loss, man. It's not that bad.
Yep. Yeah, then put it like that if you like.
Yeah, look, if we're talking ratios, like I think it's not as bad as some of the other losses this week, so
No. Good.
But yeah, look, from the start, it didn't look good. I was nervous. I was very nervous the whole time. Like I think the main issue was caused by the midfield. Our midfield was Bruno, Eriksson, and Scott McTominay, which was a really bad choice in my opinion. I think they just couldn't do anything because they're coming up against De Bruyne, Gundogan, and who was the other one?
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva, yeah. So I mean, they didn't even have Rodri, but even then, that's a tough midfield, man. We couldn't even touch the ball in that, and that's sort of where all the problems kind of began. And I think should have started Casemiro. I probably would have played double. I personally probably would have played double 6. I would have played Casemiro and Scott McTominay.
Yeah, I think that was the game that Casemiro was, was screaming out for him. Basically. Yeah. But even when he did come on, Jack Grealish put him on he broke his ankles basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. Still was better.
Yeah.
Second half was a lot better. I mean. Yeah, if you go game of 2 halves, it's a 4-0 and then a
3-2.
So, it's not too bad. But yeah, of course, we had Haaland, Foden, and De Bruyne just sort of tearing us apart in the whole game, really. And just some of those passes to set up Haaland's goals and stuff were unbelievable. And
the second one in particular, like,
oh my god, I know, so good.
I don't even know how to describe what Haaland did with his body. I mean, he like throws himself to the ground.
He like scores with the bottom of his foot.
He scores with a slide tackle, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a slide tackle shot.
It's like if you're a police officer about to kick a door down, but you want to come in low. So you like slide. Yeah, but
you're kicking down
flat.
A door.
Yeah.
You're
kicking down midgets. A dog door.
Yeah.
Yeah, but amazing. And Foden's goal, his first one was also sublime, just so nice.
Like his last one.
Oh, yeah. So hat tricks for both of them, Foden and Haaland. That's just totally insane. And we'll get into Haaland specifically after this. I'll just cover the match first. And yeah, hat tricks from both of them, and just Man U kind of went in. It seemed like they went in defeated already. They had that was their mindset. They went in, and I mean, that's what's going to happen if you don't believe. And I mean, look, aside from the kind of embarrassment of the match, I totally expected to lose at the Etihad anyway. So, big picture, it's not really a big deal, but
probably not really to be humbled like that.
I mean, I don't. In order to be humbled, you have to be arrogant, right?
Okay. Okay.
I don't think we really even quite made it.
I don't think there was an arrogant. I don't think there was quite an arrogance around United, not really. But do think you've been spanked. Basically, you've conceded
Crushed.
6 goals. You can call it 2-1 if you like, but it's 6 goals.
Yeah.
And
they did play an amazing game. I can't, all around they were amazing. We didn't really even do much until the second half, where Antony scored a very nice goal. I will say
his goal was an absolute worldie.
Yeah, totally. And so he's off to a good start. Seems to be like a good signing, and so I'm pretty happy with that. He looked quite good, but Rashford and Sancho looked pretty abysmal out there. Didn't really like what I saw from them. Martial came on and, of course, made a big difference. He scored 2 goals, and that was
penalty was beautiful.
Oh, dude, what a penalty! That was actually an incredible penalty. And so good to see Martial back. It actually makes a huge difference between him and Rashford as playing striker. Martial can play with his back to goal. He's got a little bit more to offer up front, so that was made a big difference. But then the big question is, and I want to know your kind of thoughts on this, what do you think? How do you feel about Ronaldo not playing in this match?
To me, regardless of what your formation might be, like which midfielders play, Ronaldo, like your biggest player has to start in your biggest game.
Sorry, say that last bit again. I just I was looking at something. Sorry.
Right. Your biggest player, effectively, the player who's had the career has to start.
That's what I thought too. It was bizarre.
And maybe it won't go well. Maybe you'll still get beaten 6-3. Maybe you'll get beaten 6-0. But you've got to give him the opportunity to affect the game. Your best players have to play in your big games. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, and for him to not play at all, and Ten Hag has come out and said that he didn't play him to save his career or something. That was kind of the quote he used.
Yeah, I heard something like, he didn't want that to be part of his career. It was like he didn't want it to disrespect Ronaldo. It was like, I think that is disrespecting him.
Yeah, I know. Like it's so weird. I don't really agree with that, and I think it's kind of like a made up thing on the spot. I think it's clear that Ten Hag wants to move on from Ronaldo, and yeah, so yeah, a bit of a weird decision leaving both Ronaldo and Casemiro out. I think it just kind of goes to show that these aren't Ten Hag kind of players, because all the players that he signed that are Ten Hag players, right? Because Casemiro wasn't a Ten Hag signing. Casemiro was a Manchester United board signing. And so he's not dying to play him like everyone else. Malacia, Martinez, Antony, and Eriksen all straight into the first team. They play every game now. So it's
interesting.
Yeah. But I think it's a bit of a wake-up call. Scott McTominay kind of exposed again. He'd been on a good run, but should have been a double pivot. I think that probably would have made a huge difference in this game. We should have played. We're away at the Etihad. We should have played full on, ultra defensive, 5 at the back, hit them on the counter. That's the only way we can kind of. We're not going to be able to play possession football against Manchester City.
Well, no.
No one can.
I think from what I saw, United and woe is me, I'm going to agree with Graham Souness, who said something to the tune of, it doesn't really matter what formation you use. It doesn't really matter who the players are. It doesn't really matter what roles you assign them. They don't fight into tackles and play aggressively and play like they mean it, basically. It doesn't matter. If you play against City, it does not matter. If you've got to play against them like you're playing for your life.
For sure.
And have the tactics right, and have the roles right, and the players have to be awesome.
Yeah. So
even then, you might lose.
Yeah. See, that's it. Like, big picture, I kind of think that we were always going to lose this match. So not a big deal in that regard. Just a bit rough on the confidence, I suppose.
So should we talk about the big man?
Yes. So
huge man.
So Haaland scored his 3rd hat trick this season, and all of which have come from his last 3 home games. So 3 home hat tricks in a row.
He did.
Which is just so insane. And that puts him on a total of 14 goals from the opening 8 games. Which, of course, is a record of, I'm pretty sure Aguero had scored 10 in his first 8, which was already insane, and Haaland's gone and done 14. So, totally insane.
Sorry, I saw a stat today that said Suarez, when he was at Liverpool, did 14 in a stretch of 8 games, but it wasn't the start of the season, and it wasn't his first 8 games. He did do that.
I know, it's so insane. I can't even. There's no words. I mean, Haaland's a special player. He's done this at every club he's transferred to. So it's sort of the fact that I even had an tiny amount of doubt at the start of the season, like, oh, maybe he'll take a minute to adapt. Even that was unjustified.
Yeah, I feel silly.
Yeah. Like, everyone was like, Haaland versus Darwin, kind of thing. And I was like, no, okay, it wasn't really much of a competition.
Haaland versus, literally no one.
Yeah. Unbelievable player. I think top goal scorer only scored 21 goals last season, is that right? So
I think so.
So he's only 7 away from top goal scorer last season, and
he'll have that next week.
He's got 30 games left.
And so you go.
And so on top of this, he has also scored 3 goals in 2 games in the Champions League so far as well. And I think they play tomorrow. I think they play tomorrow, don't they? I'm not.
Yeah.
So incredible, 17 goals. That's pretty amazing already. And One other thing I want to point out is that he's also not going to play in the World Cup because Norway did not qualify, right? So while all these other strikers are going to be out dying, playing matches every 3 days for
in the desert,
basically the rest of it's 3 games. No, so a game every 3 days until the end of the season. So
3 games a day.
3 games a day, yeah. But 3 games a week. Oh, no, a game every 3 days until the World Cup, and then there's probably a game every 3 days in the World Cup, and then it probably could be the same until the end of the season if you're in the Champions League and all those things. So Haaland actually gets a decent break. And we'll just be banging goals in on all the tired players after the World Cup. So it could be, look, he could score 40 goals this season, and that's not exaggerating.
Honestly, in as much as I hate to see that, I'd love to see that. Love to see him come in and break like as many records as possible. It's just fun seeing records drop. It really is.
And
so I saw a lovely little stat. It was the fastest players to 3 hat-tricks in the Premier League. And obviously,
I've seen this too.
Haaland, it took 8 games. The next best player was Michael Owen, 48.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, is really, really good.
Yeah, I know.
Considering he started at Liverpool, who were not as good as Man City are now. He was 17, and a bunch of other sort of hindrances. But let's take nothing away from Haaland. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing. I think Haaland has made incredibly good career decisions too. Every time he transferred, he went to a club exactly the level that he should play at to develop perfectly, right? So he was in Molde, he outgrew that, and then he went to Salzburg. Crushed that, outgrew that, went to Dortmund. And all this time he's having offers from Juventus and Man U and all sorts of stuff. And then he outgrew Dortmund, Manchester City. So he didn't, instead of just coming to Manchester City early on, which, starting too young can be rough for some players, he kind of came in when he was perfectly ready to go, and he is kind of the finished product. For him. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, insane player. Definitely probably Ballon d'Or contender, not even that far away, I would say. So yeah, and another thing I want to say is though, even though Norway have not qualified for the World Cup, he has scored 21 goals for Norway already.
How many appearances?
23 appearances with 21 goals.
Quite good.
No, quite good. That's totally insane.
It's quite good.
We actually scored 11 goals from 5 games at the under 20s level. That's
quite good as well.
Yeah. I heard it. Yeah, he is quite good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think if you've got nothing else to add on our mate, sure, when he got given the game ball from the Derby game, Laporte signed it. He's written, "Big man, you've gotten more hat-trick balls than I've signed contracts."
That's hilarious. Well, I thought they were going to have to cut the match ball in half, because him and Foden both needed one.
Foden. Right? And then, Martial got 2 at the end. He can have a little bit of it as well.
Yeah. There actually was. I did watch. I was watching at the end of the match, and because I wanted to pile on the suffering, and the Haaland had the match ball, and then I think Gundogan ran after him and knocked the ball out of his hands and threw it at Foden. not to Foden, at Foden.
Yeah.
But then later on, Foden reappears with 2 balls and chucks one to Haaland.
Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, so insane. Oh, also too, Phil Foden. Amazing player too, man. Holy shit.
How many goals have he got for Norway under 15s?
Yeah, not too many less than he has for England.
Hey.
But anyway, so anything else on Erling Haaland? I feel like we can't really say much more. He's amazing.
Good player.
Incredibly good player. And, you know, he was my captain on Fantasy League. Absolutely worth it. Hedge, you got to hedge your bets.
Yeah, well predicted that.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on now. Would you like to talk about Liverpool next, or?
I mean, to be honest, I just feel like I'm going to be repeating myself, but I'll give it a go. Honestly, I don't even really know what to fucking say, mate. We're going forward. It looks just fine. Like, we're starting to put together moves. Sort of, again, delighted for Firmino, a couple of really classy goals. And making, like, he's like, his return to form has sort of coincided with everything else in our team just falling to shit. So good for him, but bad for us. Luis Diaz still awesome, but couldn't really do today in this game. Our defense though is just absolutely all over the place. I don't even know where to start.
Well, I think that like you said, we're sort of repeating ourselves because I think our prediction was kind of correct, is that these players have played a tremendous amount of games. And I mean, Robertson is currently injured, right? A player who basically never gets injured. And I mean, he played like 50 games last season or something. So
played basically every game.
Yeah. And I think Trent did play every game last season. So it's not surprising that he's sort of struggling a bit too. I think fitness and all those kind of things are where the problem lies. I mean, you can't play football at that level of intensity forever.
Yeah, well, especially when you're playing 3 games a day.
Yeah, 3. I know it's hard, man. But
not even keeping up.
Yeah. So those first 2 goals, though, I mean, because Trossard scored a hat-trick in this game as well. All 3 goals for Brighton from him. The first 2 happened quite quickly, which was kind of funny. I mean, I watched the match, but both were pretty bad keeping from Alisson on both of those. I feel like on another day he probably could have saved both of those.
They were both quite similar, weren't they?
Yeah.
You feel like might have learnt from the first one. They're both really good finishes, though. Like, fuck it. I don't know, man. I think Trossard's a really, really good player. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised he's still with Brighton because they're they're good. I mean, they're 4th in the table at the moment. There's no reason that this can't. They're like the Leicester of about 6 years ago, right? When Leicester through no individual brilliance. There was some individual brilliance, but through basically being a wonderful team, wonderful, more than the sum of their parts, and they worked their fucking socks off. They could be that.
Yeah,
They're not going to win the league. They're not going to win the league, They could be that.
Well, that was it. I was wondering how they were going to go once Graham Potter left, and they have seemed to have carried on. So the foundation that was developed there by Potter has sort of sunk in, and all of these players know each other so well and all that kind of stuff. And just your comment about Trossard, I think he will get his move very soon. In fact, I think he will probably follow Potter to Chelsea. That is the rumor that I've been hearing. And it's probably about time because, like you said, Trossard has always been a good player. He sort of struggled with actually finishing goals. He would hit the post like 5 times in a match. Maybe that's what Alisson was expecting. But now he seems to actually be able to, put them in the goal now. So
he just guards the post.
Yeah.
Let it hit that. It could go anywhere.
Yeah, so it was, but then sort of disappointing for Liverpool because you did bring it back. In fact, it went 3-2. Yeah. It was an own goal, wasn't it, in the end, the third goal, and then...
It was an own goal.
But then Brighton are a team that will play hard for 90 minutes. They don't slack off after 60 or anything like that. And they were able to claw one back.
And the last goal, Trossard's goal, unbelievably good.
Oh yeah.
But he shouldn't have had the opportunity. We had multiple chances to boot that ball into Rosette. I don't care if it goes out for a corner. Kick it.
Yeah.
At some point, you just have to defend a goal by kicking the fucking ball away.
Definitely. Okay, well, anything else you want to say, or should we move on? We've still got a bit to get through.
Yeah, move on.
Okay, so I have the North London derby here. Obviously, we would have Ash here to talk about this, but conveniently, he's not here today. Funny that.
Oh, funny that.
So I think that was Spurs' first loss, and Arsenal have only lost one game to Man U, and Arsenal look good, man. Still look good. They bounced back pretty strong, and I'm actually very excited to see how Arsenal versus Man City is going to go because I'm pretty sure that's coming up very soon.
Yeah. Now look, can't say that I caught too much of the game, but that's shit. But again, Arsenal will be kind of interesting when this game comes back to White Hart Lane. It's interesting. I can't remember exactly what he said now, but Arteta put a lot of his emphasis on a Granit Xhaka, who's been basically played every game in the last season and a bit. And like the narrative around him has basically completely changed. Like where he was kind of a bit of a, before Arteta took over, he's a bit laughable, right? Sort of often get red cards or silly moments, or he'd cost Arsenal games or points.
He said fuck you to the fans.
He said fuck you to the fans, threw the shirt on the floor. Name's Granite.
And he's not even that hard.
He's not even that hard. But he's pretty hard.
Yeah, lately, yeah. Dude, people are even going as far as calling him the left-footed Kevin De Bruyne now.
No.
I was like, all right, okay. Calm down. And yeah, but I think he's
the left-footed Granit Xhaka.
Yeah. So I know what you mean. People have been saying that he's been playing extremely well, and a lot I was seeing was saying he's been adapted to a new role. I don't know what that means exactly. I think maybe just new duties, I guess, because I feel like he's in the same position, but
he could play a different role in the same position.
Yeah, I guess so. So just seems to have adapted to Arteta's system quite well and formed a good partnership with Partey. So because Partey scored both of them scored in this game, and Partey's goal was actually amazing. So
it was a weekend of really good goals.
Oh yeah, yeah. Standards are high now, man. When you've got all these amazing players in the Premier League, it's like it only gets stronger every transfer window. So
yeah, man, that's right.
And then of course goals from Gabriel Jesus as well too, who's just been fantastic ever since moving to Arsenal. Probably the smartest move of his career, you got to say. I think that was brilliant on his part too.
Fifth goal.
Yeah, fifth goal. That's good. And then Kane scored as well for Spurs. You know, he's the ray of light in the dark tunnel. So, but yeah, so yeah, it's Arsenal at home. I mean, again, that's a tough match. Arsenal been on great form this season, and I mean, I think when Man U played them, we played extremely well. We were very confident, and kind of got a bit lucky in that game too, I'd say. But you know, you don't win every game, and that was kind of good. It's going to be. I don't want to say it's a 2-horse race between City and Arsenal. I mean, they do kind of look like the strongest contenders now, but anything can happen in this season, because we have, like I said, game every 3 days, and then we're going to have the World Cup, and who knows what's going to happen after that.
Yeah, I think declaring any race a 2-horse race after only 8 games is naive.
Well, I'm just saying they look the most comfortable. They look the most settled already.
That is true.
Like Liverpool, Chelsea, United, all kind of up and down, not
stumbling.
Yeah, Spurs also look quite good, but Spurs, you know.
Yep, nice Spurs. They'll Spurs it up in some way.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Liverpool still have only lost 1 game.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I suppose it's quite a few draws though. Yeah.
We've just drawn 500 games.
Oh, so yeah, and the only game you lost is to Man U, isn't it? Yeah. So that's the same.
And we lost to Napoli as well.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I know how that feels. We'll get into that later though. Okay, yeah. So anyway, yeah. Kind of, it'd be better to say more on this if Ash was here. Anyway, he'd have a better analysis. But Arsenal look good. That's all I can really say on that. But moving on to another London derby, we had Chelsea versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah, now, the London Seas, or whatever it was you called them last week.
Is that what I said? I can't remember. The sea derby.
Blue Seas or something.
Yeah, the Battle of the Seas. I can't. You're right. I did say something stupid like that. But yeah, and this was a good match. Ian Vieira's a decent coach. Edouard scored a fantastic goal, and Aubameyang had his first start and scored a awesome goal on the turn as well.
That was awesome. That was instinctive.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. But did you see the controversial Thiago Silva handball moment?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
What did you think of that?
That was a red card.
100%. I can't believe that was given a yellow. What on earth?
Oh, like how? But he does it twice.
It was so deliberate, and he's so through on goal. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe it wasn't given.
Just funny.
And then
it's just fun. What minute was that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what minute that was, but what I do know is that he was the one that gave the assist to Gallagher for the match winner.
No, I thought he gave the assist to Aubameyang.
Oh, did he? Okay, sorry, my mistake. Am I wrong on that? Fair enough. But either way, would have been an entirely different game if they had gone down to 10 men, which they absolutely should have. But then Gallagher, what a goal! Okay, well, what an amazing goal!
He received that yellow card in the 32nd minute and gave the assist to Aubameyang 6 minutes later.
Oh, okay. So
he should have been off the pitch.
Yeah, and look, a red card at 32nd minute is there's a lot of time to change that game.
When you're already 1 goal down.
Yeah. So pretty contentious, gotta say.
I mean, aside from that, I actually thought Chelsea were decent value for the win. It's disappointing that obviously he didn't receive the red cards that he actually deserved. But yeah, beautiful goal from Gallagher. Great, and all 3 goals in the game were actually really nice.
Yeah, it seems like Graham Potter has put in quite a bit of faith into Gallagher, and it seems to be deserved because I really like Conor Gallagher, man. I think he's got a really good attitude, plays hard, and he also didn't celebrate after this goal, which shows that he's a gentleman because it's his former club, of course. That
Yeah,
scored against in the night. It was like the 90th minute, right at the end of the game, match winner, pretty clutch, and
I would have lost my head.
yeah. And well, I can't help but think that with Calvin Phillips from Manchester City, not being able to make the World Cup due to a surgery that he needs to have, I feel like Gallagher should probably take that spot.
Gallagher should go. I totally agree.
Especially if Potter has said that he will be given plenty of opportunities prior to the World Cup to potentially earn the spot. So I'd like to see it. Gallagher's a cool player. If, he
even if he
plays for Chelsea. Okay, so moving on. We have, what else have I skipped here? Okay, so Leicester City. They have also...
Leicester City, Brendan Rodgers, they've won the game. Unbelievable.
I know, man, I can't believe he didn't get fired. I almost thought that, if this had been Chelsea or something, I was thinking like he'd win 4-0 and then still get fired. Like we've seen that happen a few times before.
Watford would have sacked him, hired him again, and sacked him again by now.
And so that's their first win, but that means they've still only got 4 points from the first. I actually think they've played 9 games, so that's pretty bad.
Yes, it's not good.
But it was a good win over Nottingham Forest, 4-0, with 2 spectacular goals from James Maddison, who seems to be...
Oh, the first one was a big deflection.
Oh, that's true. But I felt like it was...
Like, he struck it well, but the free kick was glorious.
But I kind of feel like his first goal was probably going in if it hadn't hit the player as well, but in the other corner.
Look, I'm not willing to give it the glorious tag, but it was a goal.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think Maddison has shined this entire time. Even when Leicester were playing really bad, he actually looked great this whole time. And it's still so surprising that I suppose it's only his price tag that has kept him at the club, because he's English and so on. And I'd be really surprised if he's not picked up sooner or later. Surely someone wants a player of that profile. I have a bad feeling though that he won't be picked for England, because there are a lot of good players in a similar position or a similar profile to him. Ahead of him in the same position is Mason Mount, Phil Foden, and Jack Grealish. So, providing that it's Southgate, I don't actually know if he will play for England, which is kind of disappointing because, I also think that there is, he fell out with Southgate because he has 1 cap for England, and he played, and while on international duty, he got sick. Well, he said he had an illness and left the squad, but then later on he was photographed at a casino. So I think that
So,
kind of
honestly, it's probably that
yeah. There's like a beef between him and Southgate. So
the player is good enough. If the attitude is wrong, then the player is not good enough. That's the way that Southgate will see it, and kind of fair enough. And we shouldn't be giving special treatment. Like, if Maddison was Zidane, I still wouldn't want him to receive special treatment.
yeah,
And he's not. So, up yours.
yeah. But nonetheless, I think it wouldn't surprise me if there's a move in January or something. It's still, look, Leicester have only won one game. It's still very possible if they get relegated, it'd be an absolute raid on all of their players. They have so many players worth signing, so that would be fun.
But yeah, even if it's just going a bit shit in January, like Edison, Tielemans, Harvey Barnes, Tanya, Justin, all these guys could.
Dewsbury Hall.
Decent player, yeah.
Yeah. And Nacho.
Sindaka.
Yeah. There's tons. They're absolutely stacked, man.
They're all names.
Yeah, so that's it. But we'll see what happens, I suppose. I mean, maybe a few more losses. It could still be Brendan Rodgers fired. He maybe should have been already. And from what I understand, the Nottingham Forest coach has not been fired, but there was talk of him being fired. I think he was offered a new contract, and they've sort of withdrawn that offer recently. And so the
I feel like that's just as bad.
Yeah, because the talk of the town is they're going to get Benitez has sort of offered himself for the job. And so they're kind of thinking like, can we, do some kind of swap and get out of this. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens with Nottingham Forest, because I mean, they spent 120 mil. They bought like 23 players. They went full Football Manager on this league. And
I don't think I've ever even done that.
23 players. I know, it's insane.
Hey!
Yeah. Apparently they're going to fire their the head of recruitment as well. It's like, imagine if you made 23.
Wait, they've only got what? They've only got one?
No, I think there's two, and they're going to fire both.
I thought they might have about 4.
No, I said like the higher ups, I'm saying. Not just like all the scouts or anything, but yeah. So pretty funny.
Lord.
But speaking of coaches who have been fired, another team deep in the relegation zone, the Wolverhampton Wanderers, have
Bruno Lage is not in charge.
Yeah, he's gone. He's been axed, and I thought Bruno Lage was a really good coach, and I mean, I suppose they haven't had the best start, but
1 win in the last 15 games.
Oh, okay, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. And
yeah,
and they haven't really changed personnel much at all, right? It's all still like the Portuguese B team.
It's basically it's the Portuguese league sort of bits and bobs type team. They brought in probably going to get the pronunciation wrong here. That striker Kaladzic.
Oh yeah,
I think that's how you say it.
I don't mean the big tall guy.
Yeah, big fella.
Kaladzic, 6'5".
And he basically instantly got injured, so that's unfortunate. But the results. If you don't score goals, you can sort of promise a whole bunch up front if you like, but eventually someone's going to score a goal on you, and you're just going to lose.
And as sad as it is, I think that Raul Jimenez, it's just never been the same since he got that horrific head injury. He was on such amazing form back in those days, and I don't know, just never looked as prolific ever since, which is actually really sad.
It sucks, man. Like, is it no fault of anyone really? Just these things happen in a football player's career. In life, accidents happen, and fortunately, he's basically his career has suffered as a result of that.
Yeah, well, I suppose the thing about this is that Wolves are another team that if they got relegated, it would be a raid. Like
Yeah, there's plenty of good players there. That's for sure.
it'd be sweet, like if you play, it'd be the next Football Manager, not the one, or FIFA, not the one that's just come out or just about to come out. But then you'll start, and both of those teams will have just been relegated, and you can just buy every Leicester and every Wolves player, like for cheap ass, and be mean. But yeah, so again, another coach eliminated from the Premier League. That's how many is that now? 3 or 4?
Eliminated. Is that how it works? Is it like the weakest link?
Yeah. They've been voted off the island, and because England's
The island?
England's an island, right? And
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, because we had a few. We had Scott Parker. We've had Thomas Tuchel, of course. We've had Bruno Lage. We've had was there another one? Was that it?
Do you say Tuchel?
Yeah, I feel like there's one more, but I can't quite remember who it is right now. But either way, yeah, another one bites the dust. So, okay, I think that's kind of all I have written down here for the Premier League. Was there anything else you had from that?
No, but I've got a quick Mourinho watch if you want it.
Oh, always.
Okay, so I hope that you haven't heard this, so it's completely new to you. Recently, Inter played Roma, and Roma got the win. And Mourinho was not allowed to be in the stadium because of a touchline ban he'd earned in the game against Atalanta. I don't know how, and I don't care because it's Jose. Wonderful stuff. He watched the win in the team bus, which was parked outside of the stadium, and was celebrating with many an Instagram story with the bus driver. Loving it.
But wait, I thought even with the touchline ban, I thought you just had to be in the stands, right? Was he not allowed in the stadium?
I think it's a stadium. I think it's a full stadium ban.
Full stadium ban. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's Jose. They've got to go big time.
True. Yeah, that's true. Actually, speaking of Jose, I watched this amazing video on YouTube. If you haven't seen it already, it's this channel that does coaches breaking down their kind of most famous wins tactically.
Yeah, I have seen it.
It's amazing, right? I love the way that he talks about football in there. It's just so fascinating, and yeah, it's so cool. I've been watching a lot of those videos lately. Those sort of tactic ones, very cool.
Yeah,
highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, so moving on, we have had some Champions League games this week. And I suppose
for the record, I have seen none of them.
Oh, you have not? Okay, well, you at least are aware that
I'm aware that football was played. I know that we won.
Yes, Liverpool won against the Rangers. Yeah. And I'm the same. I've only seen the highlights from this match, but it looked like Liverpool looked a lot better than what am I looking for here? Yeah, than previous, I suppose. Looked a bit more determined. One thing I found interesting was they played Diego Dallo in the midfield. No, what's his name? Diego. Who's your Diogo?
Jota?
Diogo Jota. Yeah. He.
Well, it's not midfield. It's
he's playing
behind
10.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Sort of.
Well, I mean, but it just means you're playing a midfield 2 rather than a midfield 3, as you usually do. And
yeah,
it actually I can share this. Yeah. So quite interesting lineup, and this is what I was saying earlier. One of the reasons why I think Diaz has been particularly good is because he is one of the players that has not played every single game.
Billion games.
Because he only arrived in January. So he still played a lot of games, but he didn't play every game. And yeah. So still look quite good. in this match, 2 goals. One from it was Trent's insane free kick. Have you seen that?
Free kick. No, I've not. I haven't seen a single second of Champions League football.
Okay. You're gonna have to check it out because, yeah, Trent scores an amazing free kick in this game. I mean, that's kind of what he does best. That's sort of, even if he hasn't been defensively sound lately, he can still ping a free kick. That's for sure, and it's amazing. It's pinpoint.
And you see the penalty?
Yeah, Mohamed Salah, of course.
Was it a penalty?
Was it? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. I remember seeing I didn't really have any gripes with it. It didn't really stand out as being contentious to me.
Okay, fair enough.
So, but then Mohamed Salah just put it straight down the middle, sent the keeper, dived out of the way. Usual stuff. Good win for Liverpool. Another 2 points to Champions League. So, yeah. Who else is in your group? It's
Ajax and Napoli.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. So that's the next match to talk about is that, unfortunately for me, both of my teams managed to have 6 goals scored against them this week, which is quite sad. Ajax being my team of my father's side of the family, of course.
4 fathers.
Yeah, well, there are coaches in my lineage that have coached at Ajax, so I have a decent attachment to this club. Yeah, and they have managed to get pumped 6-1 by an incredible Napoli team, and
in their own backyard.
Yeah, which is 6-1 at home. That's so bad. But something I want to show you. You can see me sharing my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I want you to look at Napoli and look at the numbers that these guys wear.
Yeah, it's
So we have
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on in Italy, actually.
So there's only like 3 players in the starting 11 that are wearing positional numbers.
Normal numbers.
Yeah, and so, first of all, we have this guy here. I'm going to try it. Was it Kvar? It's so hard to say.
Maradona.
Yeah, Kvaradona or Kvaratskhelia. He's wearing 77. That's just insane. Raspadori 81. That's a pretty weird one. Then Frank Zambo Anguissa wears 99.
68.
68. That's so strange. Why not go one more, mate? Like, make it funny.
If you're gonna wear a take the piss number, wear 69.
Is there anyone that actually wears? I don't think there is a player that wears 69.
I've never seen a football player wear a 69. No.
It's almost too on the nose. You feel like they wouldn't do it, but and then 20. I mean, 20 is fine. That's a common number.
20 is fine. 11 is fine. 3 is fine. 17 is fine. 15, 22, and 1 obviously fine.
Makes sense. Yeah.
The rest of them, what are you doing? Italy, that's ruined the win for me. Should have a point docked.
But yeah, so this was a crazy match, man. Well, because Ajax actually scored the first goal. They went ahead with Mohamed Kudus, and then 6 unanswered goals scored against them. And this guy, do you know much about Raspadori? Well, he is on crazy form. Hold on.
I know he's on good form, but
let's take a look at his stats because he's been playing for Italy too, I think, and so he's 22 years old, and so 3 goals, 1 assist in the Champions League so far. Only 1 goal in the league, but for Italy, 5 goals and 15. I'm pretty sure he played for Italy recently and was really good. And so he's been on very good form. And because this Napoli team, it's changed a lot over the last few years, right? Like when you think about all the players that Napoli had previously, they sold
it's nearly unrecognizable, right? There's
like Zielinski's been there a while, and Lozano, But aside from that, they're all pretty new. Oh, Di Lorenzo's been there for a bit too, and Merritt.
Yeah.
But then a lot of these guys,
maybe Merritt.
They've sort of changed a lot of players and sold a few because they sold Koulibaly, of course. And
yeah, they've changed most of their team.
Yeah. And so it's kind of interesting that they're sort of putting together a decent side because they're top of the league in Italy as well. So they're playing extremely well. And they actually signed, they picked up Tanguy in Ndombele, and he managed to have a decent, he's been playing good since moving as well. And they also
had to change.
Yeah. And then they also have Diego Simeone's son, Giovanni. And then he's managed to score in this game too. I think I already told that story, right? You know, he has a tattoo of Champions League logo on his wrist.
Yeah.
And he was like
funny.
And then his parents were real mad about it. And then he said, "No, I'm getting this tattoo because one day I'm gonna play in the Champions League." Which, when you consider his parents Diego Simeone, he's like, "What are you doing, son? Don't be stupid."
Yeah, as if Diego Simeone has any right to say that.
Yeah. So, pretty disappointing for, Ajax getting sprayed and wiped at their own home. That kind of sucks. So,
I mean, if there's anywhere to spray and wipe, it is your own home. You don't want to be walking into anyone else's home and using spray and wipe.
Yeah.
Feels a bit rude.
Mm-hmm. And then, so, other notable matches, I suppose, are Spurs managed to do a 0-0, but that's, that is what it is. And Bayern Munich 5-0, pretty standard. You'd kind of expect that, I suppose. Yeah.
I'd just like to say on that one, I enjoyed that Sane and Mane scored.
Yes. Sane and Mane both looking lethal as. Great pair.
Mane.
And, well, one player that I'm extremely impressed with is Jamal Musiala. He looks like the next hot thing, man. He is complete class. And I think he's only 18 or something, right? I'm pretty sure. I just totally spelled it wrong. Jamal Musiala, 19 years old. So that's pretty decent. 2 assists in the Champions League so far. 5 goals, 3 assists in the Bundesliga this season so far. For a 19-year-old staking his place at the number 10 position, just like that. Pretty good, gotta say. And I think he has played for Germany now as well. Yeah. Okay, he's got 17 appearances for Germany already. That's actually crazy.
Wait, 17?
That's what it says, yeah. So he's got 17 appearances for Germany already.
Surely many of those are, like sub appearances and stuff.
Yeah, surely. Must be. See, will it give us? Does it give us more details? I wonder. Yeah. Oh, he was in the Euros last time. Yeah, so no, yeah. Anyway, he's got 17 caps already. That's actually really good. Good player, man. One to watch for sure. I think he's a crazy good player. So yeah, they won 5-0 as you'd expect. Now they're 3 from 3, going hard in the Champions League. And
it's not quite going right for them in the league, so it's quite funny, yeah.
No, I know it's Union Berlin, top of the league in the Bundesliga at the moment.
Yeah, which is Brighton of Germany.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know it's amazing. It's kind of weird, but yeah, so strange. I don't know, but I think they won. Yeah, they won. Good win today, though. So I suppose, yeah, they'll probably turn it around as they always do. So, yeah, Lewandowski is top goal scorer. Oh no, sorry, he's not there. But I mean, he is top goal scorer in La Liga though. So that was just my brain moving too fast, waiting for the transition, because I wanted to. The last one I want to talk about is the Inter Barcelona game.
Of course. What do you want to say about that one?
Where Lewandowski did not score, and so there was a contentious moment in this game. So, well, for one, I think Correa scored.
Was Mourinho outside in the bus?
He wishes, but
Yeah, he does.
it'd take him back to his, that's what that thing we talked about, the tactic YouTube video.
Yeah.
It's about when he was in charge of Inter against Barca. So, so I think it was Correa who scored the goal for Inter. He basically just pantsed the ter Stegen and just sort of tapped it in, went around him. It was pretty funny. Good goal. But then Barcelona did score an equaliser, but it was chalked off because Ansu Fati managed to handball it before Pedri scored it. And it was a bit rough. I mean, the ball was like headed by the defender into his hand when he kind of jumped up for it too, but his hand was sort of in an unnatural position and they had to sort of disallow it. However, later on in that game, Denzel Dumfries managed to do basically exactly the same thing. And then that one was ruled as accidental. And so no penalty was awarded. So
how did you see it?
It's 100% a penalty. Yeah, it's 100% a penalty. So it was pretty bad considering just because of the lack of consistency is the main thing. You have a literal example of it being called in that same match, same ref on the day. So pretty rough. I gotta say, that's pretty rough. And Xavi was extremely upset about this and had a big go at the ref in the press conference and like all this kind of stuff. And he was pretty bitter to not have got that point there because
I love it when Xavi gets angry because he's just a player. Like when he was a player, you like never saw. He was cool as a cucumber. You never really saw him do that.
Yeah, because now they are looking like they're heading to the Europa League because they've only got one win from 3 games, with Bayern and Inter both ahead of them. So it could be Barcelona in the Europa League. It's pretty likely. It is a extremely tough group with it's basically three
favourites for 2 spots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. So pretty rough, but fuck Barcelona. Fucking hate those guys. They suck. That's my nuanced opinion on the matter. Okay, so I think that concludes everything I have. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Kvaradona.
Yeah, we have.
That's it.
I'll preview for next week. I'm not going to go through it, but I'll just show it on the screen. Liverpool, Arsenal.
How about we talk about the Liverpool game? Is probably the big one of the week.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, for sure. Arsenal on great form. Liverpool are definitely one that could upset Arsenal as well, but could go either way. Yeah.
We have quite a good record against Arsenal in recent times, but obviously Arsenal have been sensational at the start of this season. So we'll probably draw again. To go on our long list of draws. Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, as sad as it is, I mean, a draw at the what's it called? The Emirates. No way, what's that one?
Emirates.
Yeah, it's Emirates. Yeah.
Emirates. City is Etihad.
Yeah, draw at the Emirates this season is actually kind of okay considering their current form, but obviously you want to win, get back on form. Manchester City has another home game, so it looks like another hat trick for Haaland probably. And
I think that's how it works now. Yeah.
And Spurs Brighton, that could also be a tough match considering how good Brighton are going, and Yeah. Man U plays Everton,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
We-
you should win that.
Hope so, yeah. Well, we have a Europa League game as well too against what the fuck are they called? It's like a hold on. This is another weird one. Let me see. What are they called? Ammonia.
Monia.
Ammonia.
Look, man, that's a gas. You should be able to beat them.
Ammonia. I don't even know much about them. Well, where are they from? They might be another one of those Ammonia manager Neil Lennon. Where are they from? I don't know. But either way, it's a Ammonia. Where are they from?
Either way, it's a shitstorm.
It must be I think it's a Greek team. Ammonia FC. For whatever reason, Greek teams seem to like Clovers.
It might be Cyprus.
Yes, you're right. It is Cyprus. Cypriot First Division. Okay. So we're going to play a Cyprian team. Better win that one. But like I said, the issue is that we have matches every 3 days till the World Cup at least. So every match is going to be hard considering fatigue. And you have 5 subs, but it doesn't mean that you have 5 players on the bench worthy of subbing on. So
It's true.
yeah, it's going to be the battle of who's got the most team depth this season, I think. So yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's about it. Nothing else.
Nah, I'm happy.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening to the Football Friends podcast. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends about our little show we do. And yeah, we'll catch you all next time. Cheers.
And post your best impression of saying that man with the K name from Napoli. Cheers. Cavaradonna.
I already forgot it. Let's just play it one more time. What was it? Feature.
Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
Kvicha. Kvaratskhelia.
Okay.
Kvicha Kvaratskhelia.
Everyone watching, remember that name because no commentator is going to be able to pronounce his name, but his name will be in lights in the future.
He'll be sure to haunt England in the Nations League B grade next season.
Yeah. Playing Georgia. Yeah, cool.
Bloody hell.
All right.
All right.
Well, peace.
Peace.